Monday, it is time for the next planner page. Now this one is from Worlds of Wonder by Johanna Basford, obviously the Johanna Basford planner. And I'm having a little look. We've got a cute owl. We've got this sort of circle. Now I usually interpret it as a moon, but it could be something else. We have the florals, we have the house. So we've got a lot of different bits and pieces to do and fit together. Now I decided to challenge myself a little bit and use my Amazon Basics pencils. Now the reason it's a challenge is because I haven't used them very much before. So I have, but I haven't used them in a video. I don't think. I haven't used them for a while. So it's just to sort of reunite me with them really and have a little go. Now if you don't have these pencils, I do have some comparison swatch charts with other brands, so you can find the nearest colours if you need to do that. But let's get started. Now I'm sort of going to do it in a series of sections. So we've got the owl to do, we've got the florals to do, we've got the house to do, we've got the background to do. So I'm going to sort of do it one bit at a time. I think I'm going to go with conventional, so I think I'm going to do the owl in browns. I always think they look rather cute and nice in brown, so that's my reason for that. So I'm just going to look at what browns I've got available and then make a start really. I think the lightest brown is the burnt ochre, which I'm just going to try to find. There it is, burnt ochre. Let's come in closer to the owl, because we are only concentrating on the owl at the moment. So this burnt ochre, I think it's going to be quite nice for this bottom bit. I was like this sort of cute little fluffy bit here to be quite light. So I'm actually putting it down really lightly. Well, actually I'm beginning to layer it up a little bit because it is quite a light colour. And I want a reasonable amount down on the page. So just gently applying this one. So I hope everyone is having a good Monday so far. Getting really into September now, aren't we? Well, it's quite early September making this video. Actually, I've managed to get myself quite way ahead, which is quite a nice feeling, because I don't know if you have heard me talking about the fact that I was thinking of having a bit of a holiday, a few days off, that sort of thing, and I needed to get ahead for that. But I haven't quite got ahead enough, but I'm getting there. So that's rather nice. I am still planning on doing that, but I haven't set myself a date yet. I just want to be, I'm going to do another layer of this, be in a place in my head where I'm happy and I feel like I'm okay with it, if you know what I mean, because I usually make 2 videos a day. Now, so if I have 3 days off, which was the plan, that's 6 videos that I haven't made, which is almost a week's worth of, you know, 1/2 of the day. So it's quite a big amount to not make. So it's just sort of gathering myself, getting enough done so I feel sort of happy about it, that sort of thing. And you know, so it's a slow process. I'm not in a huge rush. Right, so that was a burnt ochre. I'm going to grab the brown ochre now, which is a slightly different, darker shade. I'm going to sharpen it and I'm going to put some strokes of colour, because we've got these little black marks there that Johanna's drawn. So I thought if we have a really sharp pencil, I mean this might be better with a pen, but I haven't brought my pens through. But I'm just going to add some lines all the way through really, make it look a bit more like fur, but it's not fur, is it? Feathers, sort of fluffy feathers, I suppose is what I'm thinking. You know, when you see a bird and they've just got that little really soft tummy. I don't know if you've ever got that close. Or then I remember hand feeding with the children. We were hand feeding birds, and they were geese actually, and the children were holding their hands out like this with the food, but they were using this finger to tickle their necks because they were so soft. They were having quite small then, that they were really enjoying that. There we go. Now, we haven't got a massive amount of different colour browns because it's only a 48 set, sorry, not 24. So what I'm going to do is go back to my burnt ochre and do this piece in the same colour as the tummy. Okay, so again, just a layer to start with. Now, you notice I'm going in a sort of vertical direction as much as I can, because I feel that would be the direction that these feathers are growing in. I try to just have a little think about that, so that when there are lines showing, which there are here, it sort of makes sense. I'm putting some streaky lines in as well, just to emphasize a sort of featheriness. I might not do that on all the bits because it's quite a big section, this. So, you know, it can take a few lines like that. And I'm also, just because I did it on the other one, going to use the brown ochre to do the same thing. Just add in a few more. You don't have to. If you like it sort of flat, then leave it flat. You know, this is just my way of doing it. I wouldn't always do feathers like this. Sometimes I would just, well, I might not do them all like this anyway. Right, let's pick another colour. Let's go, the burnt sienna, I'm not keen on that. It's a bit too red. And the brown, look, let me show you. So the burnt sienna is that colour, and then this brown looks red to me. So I'm gonna, dark chocolate looks really grey. Oh, right, vandyke brown is where I'm going next. Vandyke brown. So this is quite a dark brown. I think I might do this sort of line here with this, because it looks like it's supposed to be a sort of boundary almost. So I think it might work quite well in this dark colour. I'm not going to plaster it on though. I don't want it to be like mega dark. But what I am going to do is make it just a bit darker at the top compared to there. Like that. And I'm also going to use, now I'm trying to decide what to do with the top of the head. I think a really dark brown eyebrow might work well. I'm going to put a lightish layer down to start with, because I want to put lines in it like this. And if I build up the colour, I think they'll show up more. The sun is shining this afternoon. Just had lunch, had a delicious mushroom sandwich. I just fried them in a little bit of olive oil, and my boys have them on buttered bread, whereas I don't eat butter, so I just have them on plain bread, but I put a little bit of salt on them because I find they need a tad, and without having butter, then the boys have salted butter, so they've already got salt on there, so they don't need them. But I had a bit on mine. Husband only likes mushrooms if they're cooked in a creamy sauce, and I wasn't going to be doing that, particularly because I can't eat like cream and dairy, so the boys wouldn't eat mine, so it's all, yeah, too difficult. And I like the mushrooms just plain. You can really taste their lovely flavour. So I'm afraid he didn't get any. Right, I am going to use that burnt sienna that I sort of shied back from before. Here it is, the burnt sienna. I'm going to use it for the very top of the head. Again, gently to start with, because I want to just see how it looks. And then we'll figure it out. That bit there doesn't necessarily, I was going to do that the same colour. It doesn't necessarily need to be, so I'm just going to leave it for now. Just colour around. I've just realised that that little floral arrangement isn't symmetrical. I suppose that doesn't really matter. think the sun's gone in. It was really windy actually. It's quite interesting. I don't know what's going on with the weather at the moment. Well, not that I ever normally do. It's no good trying to make sense of it, is it? So, anyway. Again, lines. Yeah, I think we're supposed to be having a eclipse tonight. You'll be able to gauge how early in the month it is that I'm making this from that comment. It's the blood eclipse of the full blood moon or something. Sounds a bit spooky, doesn't it? It's things of horror movies. But I don't know if we'll see it because of the where we are positioned. Because you're supposed to get yourself into a position where you can see the horizon, which means you need to be high up. Now, we live in the very lowest point of our town, so when we look around, all we can see is buildings and hills. So, but we can usually see the moon. But we'll have a look out for sure, see if anything is happening. Who knows? Why not? Got nothing to lose by peering out of the window. Dark chocolate I'm going to use for these little tufty bits. I'm just going to make them darker at the base, but I'm also going to use this to add some lines to this top bit. I'm going to sharpen it a bit more because it's a little bit too red for my liking. I did think that might be the case, so I'm just going to put some lines of this on top. It will dull it down a little bit and also just add that feathery look that we've been trying to get. Well, I've been trying to get all the way through. My tongue came out then. Is it just me, or do other people's tongues come out when they're concentrating? I hope it's not just me. I'm sure I've heard of it being a thing. There we go. There. Now where to go? I think because I've only used this for there and there, I might use it some more under the eye. We've got this tufty bit here. I might do that in this dark, like that, just so it's consistent with that bit. There we go. Now the eye, I'm just looking at the different bits of the eye, how it's drawn, and thinking about what to do. Now, owl's eyes, I've seen photos of them being orange, being green, being yellow. Now, I don't know if they are all those different colours or if the picture was photoshopped or whatever. So I'm never quite sure how to do it. But what I am going to do is grab the burnt ochre again and do this bit around here. Okay. But what we're going to do is we're going to put a different colour on top of this from the colour we were putting on top of it before. So hopefully it will look a little bit different. This is quite a, it's almost like a very dark Naples yellow, or if you look at the sort of castle arts, a light terracotta or light ochre type colour, isn't it? It doesn't really look like burnt ochre to me, but maybe that's because they're saying that because it's a bit brownish. I'm not sure. Just trying to make it a bit darker at the edges, a bit lighter down at the bottom. But now I'm going to go for the dark chocolate colour again and put our little strands on there, and as you can see it makes it quite the different colour, which is nice when you've got a limited amount. It's quite nice to try different combinations. I mean, it is anyway, because you might just find the most amazing colour combination, but it's quite good to try different combinations so that you can, you know, get a bit of difference in your picture, different colours. It's quite nice. I think I'm used to having very spoilt and used to having sets that have lots of colours in. So I like to be able to have a big range. So if you can mix them up a bit, that helps expand your range. Oh, my toe's feeling funny. There we go. There. So that looks quite different to this. It's a slightly different combination of colours. Now we have this one. Maybe we'll go back to the brown ochre for this one here. It's quite narrow, this little bit, isn't it? Oh, I haven't done any meditation yet today. I've come nearly to the end of my course, and I'm finding it good. For example, I had an appointment yesterday, and I was really nervous about it. But I had no signs of IBS whatsoever. Now my IBS isn't that bad, but I still usually get it when I'm nervous, and nothing, not even a tummy ache, nothing. I was like, wow. So that was really good. So I was very, very happy about that. And actually, since I've been doing the course, which is almost 8 weeks, I have had one incident where, you know, my tummy was sore. This is burnt sienna. I'm going to do this bottom bit. So I'm really pleased. It's certainly, I certainly feel, I know I tend to sound calm and relaxed when I'm on here, but obviously life isn't always calm and relaxed. But it seems to be helping, and I'm very pleased. What I notice is that when other people are stressed, which is usually my source of stress, it doesn't usually come from me. I mean, apart from that appointment thing, because that was my appointment, but normally other people's appointments, well, not usually appointments, but concerns, shall we say, they get to me. So I worry for the person, I worry about what I can do to help them, all that sort of thing. And just the general sort of feeling in the house of the sort of tension that you can feel can really get to me. And it can make me, used to perhaps make me a little bit impatient or snappy because I could feel it. And obviously that's not a good reaction to have when someone isn't good. So I feel that now I have more patience, I'm calmer, I can still feel that atmosphere, shall we say, but it doesn't impact me in the same negative way. Here we have the Van Dyke brown. We're going to put a bit on top of here. Just going to sharpen it. So I find that good. So it means that if someone is struggling a little bit, I'm in a better position to help them in a calm manner, make suggestions or whatever without getting snappy, which obviously is never going to help. So it's really good. And I think what it has also done is change my attitude towards something. So before I did it, I was thinking a lot about the fact that this house was too small and too messy and we've got too much stuff. And although I was decluttering, I was like, I just want to move to a bigger house so we haven't got all this mess everywhere and it will be tidier and cleaner. But mindfulness makes you feel that you are what you are right now. Don't be worrying about the future or the past or whatever. You can sometimes, obviously, but in the moment of your meditation, to just think, I'm just in this single moment. And also then when you get thoughts that are concerns, like that dissatisfaction at not having enough space, you can spend some time sort of with that thought and thinking about it and not analysing it, but considering what thoughts and feelings you have around that, how it's making you feel and that sort of thing. And that was quite useful for me. This is the Van Dyke brown, into thinking that actually it's not going to solve the issue. you know, which is what husband said to me. He's like, you know, if we have more space, we'll just get more stuff and it'll just fill the space. That isn't the solution. And I was like, oh, but it is, and blah. But actually, it's right, you know. If we've got a confined amount of space, then there just isn't the place to put stuff. It has to be moved on or whatever, you know. So it helped me to see that and actually appreciate how very lucky we are in where we are, our position, because I started thinking about how, you know, like to walk along the canal, of course, and if we were in a different location, we might not be close enough to do that, or I just might not bother to do it if it was like 5 minutes out of my way. So I was like, well, that's not going to be good, is it? You know. So I'm going to try and make them a bit darker at the top here. I just feel like I want a bit more dark there, and then sort of fade it down. I'm going to put another colour on top in a minute, but we'll do the other side with this one first. So, you know, it was very sort of grounding, if you know what I mean. It stopped that feeling of dissatisfaction, which was really good. Yeah, I mean, I do still look at huge expensive houses and think, but more just out of fun and nosiness now rather than ambition, if you know what I mean. So that's better. It's quite difficult to explain mindfulness. It's not about getting rid of your goals and just not moving forwards in your life, but it's also about making sure that you're not sort of overstretching yourself or doing things for greed rather than necessity. You know, if we had a much bigger family, for example, we couldn't fit in this house, you know, so necessity would mean we'd have to move, sort of thing. I'm going to use a bit of grey on these wings just to make them look a bit different. We have a warm grey, which I'm going to use. So it's more a browny grey rather than the silvery grey. But, you know, I still think it would be nice to have this, that and the other. But now I don't feel like I'm just constantly yearning for it. Do you understand the difference? It's not a dissatisfaction. It's just it would be nice rather than I desperately want it type thing. So that, I think that has put me in a healthier place, you know, thought-wise. And I think we all have so much to be grateful for, most of us. You know, find gratitude in a lot of things, and that's really helpful as well. It's not really part of it, of course, but it's just something it's led me to thinking about that, you know. So that's all good. I mean, I think what a problem to have that you've got too much stuff to fit in your house. I mean, we've not got a small house, and it's not humongous, but you know, it's plenty sufficient. And the fact that we've got too much stuff means that we're able to afford to buy stuff. Do you know what I mean? So we should be very grateful for that. Right, I'm going back to my brown ochre now and doing these bits here. Yeah, and I sort of think, you know, when you look at the news, which I'm trying to do less, but it's tricky, you see what's happening in other parts of the world and you think, you know, we never have to worry about whether we can afford our food bill. We're so lucky. Right, now the burnt ochre on top. I know it's a lighter one, but I just, I actually picked up the wrong pencil by mistake. Let's be honest with you, I picked up the wrong pencil. This is the colour I wanted it to be. But hey, we've invented something a bit different. Yes, so we don't have to worry about that sort of thing. So very lucky. Now I'm going to go for the dark chocolate to put some feathering lines on these. It's quite hard when it's so small. Also when the pencil isn't fully sharp. I thought it looked sharp. I was wrong. Now behind our owl, I've been thinking about this while I've been yapping. It does look like a moon, and you could just get your silver gel pen out and just go, you know, and it would look lovely. But I have done that before. That's not what I want. I want the burnt sienna for this sort of chest area. I was thinking, shall I attempt a galaxy sky instead? That's where my mind was going. Let's put on some feathery implication. Oh, I don't know what I'm saying. Anyway, so that was a thought, but these pencils, you know, I'm not an expert with these, but maybe I'm sure I can. I'm quite pleased with the effects I'm getting here, you know. I'm satisfied with what I'm doing, so maybe I could. Where's the Van Dyke brown? There, Van Dyke brown into here. I'm sharpen again. It takes a lot of sharpening this, or you use a really hard pencil. These are quite soft, so they need a fair bit of sharpening, but that's okay. My Tagal sharpener is quite happy with them. I'm really tempted to put some of this more yellowy colour on them. I think it would look really nice, but I think then it would look too much like this. Unless I just do a few strokes. Even then it might be a bit samey. I'll have a think in a minute. So, yeah, I am convincing myself that a galaxy sky might be the answer. Trying to also work out, so that bit there, that bit is sky in there. So that is the lightest one. Let's use the burnt sienna. That's what we just used. That's the burnt ochre. We'll use the brown ochre instead. We'll try this one. There's a little bit in there. Yeah, I'll keep thinking and deciding, but I need to make sure I've got the right sort of colours in this set. I'm not sure how well they smush, really, but I guess we could experiment and find out, couldn't we? Yes, I think I probably could do it. And seeing as this would probably be a nighttime scene, as the owl is up, obviously a nocturnal bird, maybe, just maybe it might be the right thing to do. I'm going to try that grey, that warm grey as a finishing touch. I don't know why I'm so dissatisfied with this bit here. It just keeps feeling like it needs more and more layer. But hopefully this one will be, I'm just trying to cover, there's some gaps that look white when I don't think they are really. I just want to cover those up, so I'm going to try and do that deliberately. And then maybe I'll be happy then. I think so. There we go. Now this little chest part, let me see my swatches again. I think, yeah, the burnt sienna could be a good colour for that. Here it is, burnt sienna. I'm just going to put some down, get it sort of filled in with quite a bit actually. Like that, and then we'll add some other colour to make it look more feathery. moment. I'm also going to do the same on here. I've gone a bit harder on those. I think that's better. I'm going to do another layer here. And I think by doing this also it looks quite different to the bit above. Now I'm going to sharpen this and just try and do a few feathery lines with this same colour. See whether that works out for us or not. I think it adds something, but not quite enough. So I will persevere. And then see what happens when I add a different colour as well. There we go. Okay, so we want a different brown. I think I'm going to go for the dark chocolate this time. Yeah, that's okay. Concentrating, not talking. The sun's come back out. I can see it behind my blind. I thought it was going to rain today, but the forecast must have changed. I haven't looked at it for a few days, so I guess it will change. It's actually Saturday today. Okay, now beak, feet, eyes. I am thinking that for the beak and the feet, I quite like to do them in this light ochre. Now I know they're probably not in reality this colour, but I think they look cute, so why not? I seem to remember Johanna saying something like giant owl or small house, giant owl and normal house, or yeah, I don't know, or normal owl and tiny house. That's right. Get there in the end with my brain. Trying to colour and talk, it doesn't always work. So I'm going darker on the edges and more intense, and then leaving a really light bit in the middle, which I'm actually going to go over with a yellow. This one here, the chrome yellow, I think I'm going to use. No, that's just the yellow. Will that work? Yes. Picked up the wrong one, but I think it'll work. And I'm just going to go over those as well. I'm not sure, they might be too burnished. You might want to do them in black, but I just think yellow is bright and shiny and pretty. Eyes, I'm going to use a bit of orange, but we're going to I could do with a terracotta, no such colour. I am going to use a little teeny weeny tiny bit of brick red. I'm just going to sharpen it. So here is our brick red. Be careful, be gentle. So just under here a bit, and then reduce it like that. The same on this side. Okay, so not loads, just a little bit, and then we're going to go for our orange now. Not sure if that's the shade I want. That's the vermilion. Yes, the vermilion is quite orangey. Just checking the swatch. You never quite know, do you? So we'll put that over the top of there, and then start bringing it down quite lightly. Like that. Okay. Still looks a little bit too red at the top for my liking, but never mind. I think it'll work out by the time I've added my other layers of colour. like that. Then we're going to go for the orange. Orange. Over it all again. And this time bringing it almost down to the middle bottom. Like that. I'm just thinking how pleased I am with how this is coming out, when I was a bit scared of using these pencils, as I say, I haven't used them for a while, so I wasn't sure whether they would do what I wanted them to do, but I'm happy. I'm just sharpening the chrome yellow. I'm going to use that one last. So this will add vibrancy, but also lighten it a little bit, I think. So I'm going over all of it with this. I'm not sure whether to leave a tiny white gap or to just close it up. I think I'm going to leave the teeny tiniest bit. There we are. And then this side, just a teeny weeny bit of white, not very noticeable. He's got a sunset for his eye. He, she, ow. There we go. Yeah, 36 minutes. Do I do something else or do I leave it? Always a difficult decision, isn't it? I think I'm going to leave it because I'm going to make a decision about that background ready for the next video. Okay, so there is that bit done so far. I'm quite pleased, as I say, with how it's come out. Very warm colours. It's going to be a bit different to the background, but anyway, I think that will be good. I think it will work. But I'll pick out some colours and have a think before the next video. So thank you very much for watching today. Hope that you enjoy the rest of your day and happy colouring.